KTM's now indoors and on the ABBA stand. Chain sprocket's looking pretty nice. Whole point of this is just to give it a bit of an inspection after I've used it for a few months. Check it over, make sure everything's okay. Might give it an oil filter change. And look at my pads. No, it ain't so bad. But I might have a look at that caliper anyway. I thought that was looking a bit dark compared to the brake fluid. So this is the reservoir for the clutch. And it is looking a little bit dark. I might just bleed it for the sake of it. Then everything else is looking okay, intact. Obviously I'd notice if my levers had fallen off whilst riding the bike, but it doesn't hurt just to go through your basic checks, looking for fixings, checking the steering dampener is still there. Need to get these R&G rim tape off. Don't see any coolant leaks. Don't see any oil leaks. This is a good thing. That's come up a little. I'm not sure what's going on there, but this is a plastic tank and liable to move around. And hello. So the cap for my rear brake reservoir is missing. So I wonder what happened there. It's not what I want. A bit dangerous, isn't it? And that's the entire point of doing these inspections. Yeah. So I'm going to dry this off. I'm going to have to change the rear brake fluid, and the diaphragms held the fluid in. That's pretty good. The brake worked absolutely fine on the way to the workshop. That's a real worry. I just wonder if it's something to do with having a boot in proximity with that. I wonder if I can move it in somewhere. Exhaust system's intact, everything else is looking good. The only liquids coming off of it is from washing it. Okay, that needs sorting out. But that's why we do this. I looked during the washing anyway, but you look for nails in your tyres and all that sort of good stuff. Look at that chain. Oh, it came up a treat. And she's looking a little bit gammy at the back there, but then if you knew how many miles this bike had, you'd be a bit gammy too. So lucky me. Of course, as a typical KTM owner, I've not only got a decap pipe, but I also got some replacement caps. But before I put the caps on, I'm going to need to sort it out. And what I mean by, I think it's this one. No, it's not. No, it's not. This one. And that cap will hopefully go on the reservoir and keep everything in place. It's kind of freaky to see it missing. So I've just gathered a few bits and pieces and taken off some old fixings on the bike that won't be going back on. I was thinking about doing the front wheel bearings, but I'm just not showing any signs of issues. And yet it was reported on a previous MOT, but I'm not seeing it myself. We will see. I don't doubt they're wrong. Oil filter. And then in this lovely box here, from the good people at R&G, they've sent me some rim tape for the bike. They have sent me a rear light unit for the number plate, amazing. I have got some bobbins and a whole lot of other treats, so really happy with that. And a pin for my R&G paddock stand. Yes, because that one's a little bit big. Let's try this up. So brake fluid is hydroscopic. It absolutely loves water. And one of the things you're about to see is this fluid gets really, really tidy. As I'm just going to quickly bleed the rear brake, just so that there's absolutely no chance of contamination. Although that diaphragm is stuck on really well. I'm going to do the job. And then I'm going to have to look at moving this rear reservoir, if there's any slack, over the other side of this frame mount, just to keep it away from boots, if that's what's happened. I couldn't tell you, it doesn't look like. Doesn't look like my boots would come in any, but there they are quite tall, so let's move it. Looking to undo the reservoir. Now, before I just attack it with a tool, I can see that there's some exposed threads on the back of it. So the best thing you can do is get a little brush, get around the back if you can, carefully as you like. Have a little go at those threads, yeah, just to knock off anything that might be on them. It's going to stop you undoing them. I'm going to use Bulldog BDX because I'm a bit of a fan of the product. Pop a little bit on the threads. Entirely up to you how long you leave the lubricant on there for. Just give it a chance to get it in and do its work. And then I'm going to have a go at undoing. Okay, can't do it with a screwdriver. So I'll go over to a quarter drive, get that in there, and just start the process of undoing it. So a top tip on undoing fixings is I push really, really hard. So whether I'm using my left or my right hand, wherever this is, I push and then I rotate, and that saves the bit moving around, wiggling. And again, I'm pushing like crazy, push really hard, and then everything just sort of undoes a lot easier, and I don't get chewed up bits and I don't get chewed up fixings. So my problem is going to be, this has lived there all its life, and what I want to do is move it in just so that it's out of the way, just in case it were my boots that did that. I need to find another way, because this diddy little fixing is not going to hold it in place. So that's what came off the bike. What we need is a bunch of spare fittings. And I have a little fittings drawer, so let's see what I can put together. And this is what I've come up with, which is, this is a fixing from Yamaha with a washer, and there's actually a nut inside of this rubber housing. So the theory is, just undo it. That's going to go through, and then on the other end, this nut, as you can see there in the rubber housing, is going to come in from the other side, and it's going to be wide enough to fit in there and give that some cushioning, and also lock it in from the other side. That's ready. That actually worked really well. Nut's nice and tight, and the reservoir's inset into the frame now, so my boot shouldn't have any contact with it whatsoever. She's an old bike, so I'm going to give her a little touch up on the makeup, okay? There we go. Tidy her up a bit. Make her look a little bit more handsome. Oh! Reminds me of one of those mushrooms off of a computer game, a Nintendo or something. Anyway, what we've got is a more inset, you'd hope, shouldn't come. I don't know, is the cap just ruined it? I think I'm going to go on the internet and see if I can find a factory cap, because I think this cap is a little bit, because they are anodized, they're of a size, right? He's doing fine without the cap. Nice and slim and big and chunky, but it works. I just don't know if it's not bad. I shouldn't touch it really, should I? What do you think? It'll do, right? It'll do. On to the next job, and maybe on to the next video. Thank you all for watching.